The JSE continuing under pressure today, and that's despite Wall Street ending higher last night after the release of those positive ISM numbers, and it really appears that the losses are across the board today.
Yes, Stephen, when one looks at the results, it's a mixed bag of results. Unfortunately, it looks like UBS results on the banking side and just general weakness in the market. The market seems to be looking for any reason to come off. A lot of investors have come out recently, even when looking at the company results, even though they're beating estimates, are really on cost cutting. So, unfortunately, even investors today are afraid to short. A lot of profit taking we're seeing across all sectors.
Well, of course, we have seen such a strong run up in global markets since March, and many analysts were saying we really needed to wait for the economic fundamentals to catch up with the equity markets. Do you think we're seeing the economic fundamentals starting to come through?
Steve, there's unfortunately a mixed bag. You'll see consumers are not really coming to the fore. You see money supply being lowered. And unfortunately, until the consumer base comes back into the market, fundamentally, even though we've seen the PMI index coming out, manufacturing, except for Japan, really good numbers coming out. We're seeing the industry bumping up new sales orders, producing more. Unfortunately, with the extended job loss numbers, and we saw that coming out from SA, and with jobless numbers coming out again at the end of the week, really, investors are really concerned that companies are not going to be able to match up, looking forward to the earnings in terms of the run-up since March.
Well, of course, we have seen the All Share now breaking below 26,000. That's quite a key level. What next for the All Share? Do you think we could test further resistance levels going down?
Well, if we, in terms of the All Share, if we break, and we're only about 450 points away, 25,400, we could see the bull channel breakthrough, and it would really be a trend reversal at 25,400. We could see us go down all the way down to 22,500, and probably lower if we don't get support.
Of course, 22,500 would be a bit of a shock, I'm sure, for the markets, but a little pullback would be quite healthy, don't you think?
Yes, I think a lot of investors have been waiting for a pullback in order to jump back in. Unfortunately, the market just feels so weak at the moment that investors are really waiting for a little bit more of a pullback before they climb back in. And also the reasons why the pullback is, are going to be quite important before investors climb back in.
We do have some news coming through on the data front today. We had our vehicle sales figures out a short while ago, and they showed a month-on-month gain, but still quite a big annual contraction. We're looking at durable goods and car sales figures from the US this afternoon. What are you expecting there?
Well, locally the numbers definitely much better from previous month, and if one actually looks at the numbers, we saw that 65 Porsches were actually sold in the previous month. So obviously not everyone suffering as our economy can't be in that bad a shape. In terms of numbers, I think consumers are still going to be under pressure. In terms of your durable goods numbers out in the States, I think that's going to be quite evident. In terms of new vehicles and truck sales, I think that we're still going to see the benefit of the Cash for Clunkers program coming through there. So I think those numbers will still be quite good, or in line with expectations. If they do, however, come out below expectations, I think that will definitely be quite negative for the market, and could see us coming off further in the afternoon.
Dare I ask how many of these Porsches are parked outside Nedbank Capital?
I hope not too many.
We had a trading statement from Illovo this morning. It expects a 25 to 30% rise in headline earnings a share, operating profits up 35% for the 6 months to September. So that looks like pretty good results from Illovo, but of course it did benefit from the higher sugar price, didn't it?
Yes, unfortunately, Illovo has limited exposure to the international market, so really not getting the benefit or the complete benefit of the international pricing that it would really have received if it had. But in terms, we still think it's quite overvalued. Still good results though going forward. We'll have to see if they're able to really accrue those or make those earnings, because we're seeing sugar prices come off in Europe anyway. So I think a good set of results, but we'll have to see how they perform in the next 6 months.
Of course, we see that share price down almost 5% this afternoon at 34 Rand. I mean, do you think it's just really following the market trend today?
Yeah, I think the market's really probably ignored those results, and we are just down across the board. So investors really just looking forward.
Somebody who is backing the trend today, and that's with Sizwe Platinum. Their share price was up 5% a little bit earlier, and it seems to be talk in the market that it could become a takeover target of Impala Platinum. Do you think there's anything in that?
It's unlikely that Impala Platinum would look at Sizwe, purely because Impala Platinum is battling with its own challenges at Booysendal, and they would rather look at a bigger company with more resources, possibly like a Northam. So really unlikely, and taking over Sizwe would have additional challenges for them. It would add to the bag of challenges they really have. So very unlikely. So really just a rumour at the moment.